Hey guys, I did not end up pulling out my camera one time on the travel day flying from Seattle to Philadelphia. It was super early morning, it was a rough start, and so I was not even going there. It was not possible. So I just thought I would go ahead and kind of just give you a rundown and share that day with you guys of how it went, how the travel went that day from flying a morning flight from Seattle to Philadelphia. So we started at, 5 in the morning. We left the house by 5:30. Baby's actually, Sydney woke up like at 3:30 that morning, and I nursed her, put her back to bed. She woke up again, nursed her, kept her in bed, got her to fall asleep or go back to her playpen long enough for me to get up and get ready really quick, and then she was up again. So what time is it? Probably like 5:15. So we got Tristan up, put them both in the car with SpongeBob. I just left them in their pajamas to keep them warm, and then I had outfits to change them into in my diaper bag, and then I had packed the previous night where everything was in the car except for one of the small suitcases that had to hold all their blankets. And then or actually two of the small suitcases, one that held all their blankets and then one that was gonna hold like my clothes that I changed out of and like my bathroom stuff that I used for the morning. So sorry, I'm squinting, it's kind of bright coming in the window. So we were on the road by just before 5:30. Got to the airport by around 6:30, and then I ended up needing 2 carts. It was kind of probably amusing. Sydney was crying. She did not want anyone to touch her but me, and so their aunt, Julie, my sister-in-law, was trying to help and put him in the stroller while I was like taking all the luggage out of the car, and Sydney and Tristan both just like lost it. Because I was surprised how well they were being. They didn't cry from being up early. They didn't cry the whole ride there. I was like, all right, this is a good start, yay. And then like all hell broke loose and they were not happy campers going in the stroller. They just lost it until we got it together. I tried fitting everything on one cart, which was 2 like large suitcases, 3 kid-sized suitcases, a diaper bag, a bag full of electronics, and a bag full of toys and snacks, and 2 car seats. So all that I was trying to fit on one of those metal carts you rent, and needless to say it did not work and like fell everywhere in the middle of the road. Luckily like that early it wasn't super busy, but like stuff was scattered everywhere. So Julie went and got a second cart, and then we were able to load it so that it wasn't crazy. So I was pushing a stroller and pulling a cart behind me. Julie was pushing a cart. And so we got to baggage claim, and luckily like the lady was so nice and saw we had like so much stuff that she like opened up a side for us to go in and like ask the lady to take us. And so the only thing, everything went smooth, but I will say I'm not like an experienced flyer by any means, let alone like with kids. So things are different, like what they say will happen, or each airport is very different, so you definitely have to like relax and learn to go with the flow on that, which is hard to do at the time because it's like, well, how come you can't do that? They did it over there, or how come, whatever. So I checked my 2 bags, and I already, like my big bags, and I already had paid for them, and one of them was like 1.4 pounds over, and so she was like, all right, we'll see what the other one is, and if it's over, you're gonna have to pay like more, because I guess you have to pay more if it's over 50 pounds, and I had those crammed, and it was 0.4 pounds over, so she luckily let me go, and that was fine. But I was like, man. And then what else happened? Oh, I asked her, I said, can you courtesy check my 3 carry-on bags, the suitcase ones? And she goes, no, I can't do that. And I said, oh, they did that in Philadelphia. She goes, well, they're not supposed to do that, they're in trouble. And I was like, oh, well, sorry, they were just probably trying to be nice. And she said, you can ask them at the gate normally if like there's not enough room in the overheads, that they will do that for you. And I was like, well, it's just 3 less things for me to take on, since I already need help with the car seats and 2 kids by myself. And they said, again, she was not having it, and told me to essentially gate check it like how I do the stroller, or ask them to. So I was like praying that they would do that for me, because I couldn't imagine trying to get those on the airplane too. So then they gave me the option. I had asked if they could set up meet and assist, and I told them like it wasn't set up for me last time, like I need the help, can you help me? And she actually said she could set up meet and assist there, but that meant Julie couldn't go through security with me or help me with the kids. And so it was that, you know, take a stranger that would like push my luggage and I guess help with the kids and stuff, or let Julie come and then hope that the flight attendants help me. And that's basically what she was saying, like she can't guarantee that the flight attendants would help me, like if they do, they do. And so I was like, man, but I didn't want to be left with a stranger. And so, and let alone like leave my kid with a stranger if I had to go to the bathroom or whatever, which I was, sorry if TMI, having total tummy problems. Like from in the morning, I didn't sleep well like that night before at all, and I basically like had the runs like on and off all day into even the next day. So I don't know if I got food poisoning from eating at the mall food or what. I just thought maybe I was stressed or anxious and my tummy was acting up. I don't know. But anyways, so I did have to end up using the bathroom at the airport and left like Tristan with Julie and then took Sydney. And so I just didn't feel comfortable, and then I didn't want to be left alone because I'm a weenie. And so I asked Julie if she wanted me to do that or her come, and she was like, no, I came to help and came to, you know, be with you guys. So I said, okay, good. So I said no to help on that end, but then I asked her about the other end, and she said, well, who's meeting you? And I said, my husband. And she said, well, I can set that up for him to get through. And I said, you really can actually set it up, because I set it up, you know, coming here, and my dad wasn't allowed through. And she said, no, I can set it up. So she set it up with Jeff's information, phone number, everything, and he was there waiting for us right when we got off the plane. So I was really happy about that. So we got through baggage claim, and then we had to go through security, and then that sucked because we didn't check those 3 bags, so we had 3 extra bags to check. Then I had just got coffee on the way, and I felt so bad. Like, Julie bought me coffee and they made me throw it out, and so we had all this stuff to put on the conveyor belt, so much. And then they still like had to hand check where they empty everything out of the bags for 3 of the bags. Why, I don't know. I guess they just found things that they weren't sure about. In the diaper bag, I did have like all their medicines, because we all left having colds. So like I had their Highlands teething tablets, cough syrup, blah blah blah, ibuprofen. So like they put it on a weird machine and like it did something, and probably just checked to make sure like it wasn't anything that I was gonna do with. But they let me keep everything. It just took extra time, and then the babies were crying and upset, and it was just crazy, and I had to like pack it back up, and everything was all a mess, and babies were out of the stroller. And so like that's the worst part, I think, is just because you have so much stuff. That's the worst part, is the security. So we made it there, got to our gate. We were probably an hour or so early. And so Julie got me another coffee and then a breakfast sandwich for the babies. But man, Sydney she just lost it. She was not stop crying. I couldn't sit down with her. I could only stand with her. And she was crying, pulling fits, arching her back, throwing herself on the floor, like going insane the whole freaking time that we were waiting. SpongeBob didn't calm her down. Nursing didn't calm her down. Like, nothing. She was very upset. So Bub was happy playing with the iPad, and he was eating and chilling with Auntie, but Sissy like not having it. So I asked the Alaska desk of where my flight was, and they were so nice, and yes, no problem, we'll check your bags. So they checked my bags for me and took them. They, you know, put the tag on the stroller. They helped me get on the plane, got my car seats on the plane. So all I had to do was hook them up, helped me. I mean, they were super nice. So that was actually really smooth getting on, way smoother than the first flight to Seattle, because they put me on and they did not like give me enough time. Like, they threw me on and everyone was behind me coming in as I'm like, flight attendants are holding babies and crying, and I'm trying to hook it up and I don't know how to hook it up. It was just chaos. So this time they put me on ample time before, like basically right when the staff or the crew of the plane got on, I was on, so I was able to, get them in their car seats, settle in and everything before people were coming on. So that was a lot more relaxing. And then both babies passed out before we even took off, because we are first ones on and first ones on and last ones off, meaning we're on the plane the longest. So while everyone was coming in and stuff, I had put SpongeBob on. They were like sitting there munching, and they were so tired that Sydney passed out, and then shortly after I just handed Tristan his little doggy and he was done. He passed out, and I wasn't surprised about Sydney because she cried a lot, and then it was already an early morning. I totally, threw them off their schedule, a lot of stress, and so they passed out for about the first hour-ish, which was a nice breather for me, which made like the rest of the time just easier to be able to handle. But they were really great. I have to say, for the length of the flight, the length of the travel day, like, they were really, really good. And on the plane, just chilled, watched Bob, snacked a lot. We're not interested in the toys really. Like, for a few minutes they were entertained by flipping the pages of books, but really I could have gone without bringing the toys on there, probably because they were sick and tired of them from those were the only toys they had to play with like the whole trip. So they were just like, I'm so over this, and tossed it. But snacks definitely saved us. And SpongeBob on the whole time. They did not nap again. And God bless the guy in front of Tristan for being so patient, because Tristan's really long and he's full of spit and vinegar, and he kept, like, he realized he could hit the back of the seat, so he kept kick the back of the seat to this guy. And so he had the other two seats he could have moved over. It was not a full flight by any means, and he didn't. But at the end I was like, thank you for your patience. I know it was hard. He was kicking the back of your seat, but I can't control that. He's young, he doesn't understand. He just thought it was fun. He's like, no, they were really good, it's no problem. So that was good. I thought he was gonna turn around at one point and say something snotty, but he didn't. And so other than that, like, he kicked the seat a few times. Tristan did like his talk yell stuff where he's like, and blah, 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 and talking. He did poop, so I took him to change him in the bathroom, and he liked that. He got to walk up and down the aisle and had fun with that. Sydney didn't, so that was easy. So I didn't have to nurse at all this flight. I didn't offer it either, but there was not a time that, like, they were crying. See, this was different than the other flight because it was a night flight, so really it should have been their bedtime, whereas since they got that little nap in, it kind of bided like the time for them just to stay awake, and they were just vegging out. So they didn't cry at the end. I took them out of their car seats so they could like stand up and stuff while people were getting off, and then they helped me off the plane. And then once I got through to out off the terminal, there was Jeff, and we went and got all my luggage. There was no issues with luggage this time, no issues with my stroller this time, so that was smooth. There was even a guy that helped us instead of us having to struggle with two carts, like one of the not a bellhop, but what are those guys? Skycap. Had like the huge flatbed, so everything fit on there, and Jeff had a good parking spot. We were parked right across, and so we just tipped him $5 and he helped us to the car, so that made it easy. And then the car ride home was pretty mellow. The babes fell asleep. I dozed on and off and fell asleep. We were just exhausted. And then we came home and the babies got to play and loved playing at home and with all their toys, and we're in bed by like 10:30, which was 7:30, like the time that they felt it was Pacific time. And that was our day. It was really quite a smooth day. Exhausted to say the least. Like, everything just absolutely hit me from the vacation and just everything I was doing. It was just like my body knew I was home, and I was like, I'm so done. So I feel good today. I mean, other than my cold making me feel kind of cruddy, but like the exhaustion and just like zombie state, I feel like I've gotten through, because it just hit me like a ton of bricks, just because my body knew I could chill out and relax and let the babies play and just hang. And it's I had a great time. It was awesome to see everyone. I'm glad I went. It's just a lot of work to have 2 kids running everywhere and nothing baby proof, so it's like chasing after them constantly, and it's not, you know, your home and you don't want them to break other people's stuff or ruin their stuff. Like here, everything, there's nothing really that they can do or get into that I would be upset about if anything got, you know, broken or torn, or like, well, that's just our house. But that's because that's where we are in life, you know. We are in baby kid mode, and it's designed for them and for a reason, for my sanity, and to make it where I can still accomplish things and do things and enjoy being with them instead of keeping them out of stuff. So it was a great day. I would say that this travel day was way smoother than the first one, and I just think that's the difference from day and night. The night was just a big struggle for them. Because, you know, they're used to being in bed. I think a nap is easier to skip or pass or have a shorter nap versus like really going to the night, because it was like 3:30 like our time by the time they were in bed. So that was really hard for them. I understand. It was just, they were just exhausted, and but it was a really good day, a really good trip, and I thank everybody that, you know, helped and, you know, did things for us, and that I got to see. It was awesome to go back home, and makes me appreciate my home a little more, even if I am in Pennsylvania, and you know, make the most of it. So I'll see you guys for my next video. Thanks for listening to this long blab. I know it's not like my normal daily vlogs. This is kind of just I wanted to share a rundown of all went down on the travel day, since I didn't show you guys anything. Even though it was smooth, I still just, it's hard to juggle and manage everything with a camera, and by the time I hit the car where I could pull out a camera, I was just done. I didn't even talk much to Jeff. I was just like, "Duh. Yeah, I'm tired." And my head bobbed, ding, ding. And then I was out. I'm sure I drooled. So I'll see you guys for my next video. Bye.